one who's going to be in control. And so you have to take what he gives you, and, you know, hopefully you can put the bet on it. But for the most part, when he's on, it's going to be a long night.
He's easily the best hitter in the game, the best pure hitter in the game. A lot of respect for Tony. I mean, Tony plays the game right.
One is the best pitcher, the other the best hitter of their generation. During Greg Maddux's 4-year Cy Young reign, his ERA is 1.98. The only other pitcher to have back-to-back sub-175 seasons, Walter Johnson, in 1918 and 1919. Tony Gwynn's .336 career batting average leads all active major leaguers. The only players to win more batting titles are Hall of Famers: Cobb, Wagner, Hornsby, Musial, and Carew. They have faced one another 58 times, with Gwynn batting .431. He's hit only .214 since Maddux joined the Braves. What in sports is comparable to that one-on-one confrontation between great pitcher, great hitter?
I like the mind games, probably. You know, if you want to, you know, break it down to a sport, I think more of a sport that has to do with a lot of mind games, where you can maybe try to get into somebody's head. I don't mess with Tony too much because he'll end up, you know, messing up your head. So I don't mess with him.
There's nothing that I can think of that is comparable as far as, you know, the one-on-one battle, because you do it, you know, you do it every night. And when you face a guy like Greg, you know, it becomes more heightened, and you know, you might concentrate a little bit more, but at the same time, you want to do so well, so bad. Sometimes, you know, he just takes advantage of you, you know, trying to do something good. And to me, that's what it's all about, because you got to think in this game. And I think in order to be successful at this level, you have to be able to try to think it out before it happens, and then go up in the batter's box and let it go, you know, and just see the ball and react to the ball.
Is there anything in video or in a scouting report that you can get and use into a game?
You learn from experience. I think the best way to get a feel for a guy is to face him, you know, 5 or 6 times, and make some good pitches to him and see how he reacts, and see how he reacts on the bad pitches.
I think video you can, because you can get an idea of how his ball runs, because nobody else's ball in the National League has that kind of movement with that kind of location. Seeing it on video, I think, gives you an idea of the kind of movement you're talking about, but you can look at all the scouting reports they send around, and they're not going to help you unless you've had an opportunity to face them.
Starting out strike one versus starting out ball one.
First pitch, 1-0-0-1, not that big a deal, but if the count's 1-1, now it's huge. When you go to 2-1 or 1-2, that's pretty much, you know, that pitch is almost bigger than, you know, strike 3.
Mm-hmm. You go jumping out there for a first pitch fastball, and it's a changeup, and not only are you in the hole 0-1, but he's made you look bad, and he's gotten into your head. And so most of the time, I'll take a strike.
Is it a lot more difficult preparing for a pitcher like Greg, who uses everything, than preparing for the big power pitcher that guys supposedly are intimidated by?
I think it's actually easier, because with Greg, you know, he's right around the plate. Everything's going to be right around the plate. He's got command of all his pitches, and he can throw them all for a strike at any time in the count. And to me, that type of guy is going to be easier to hit, because he's going to be right in that area.
You can give up 2 runs in 9 innings and your earned run average goes up. And Tony, you can go 1 for 3 and your batting average goes down. Is that a conscious pressure?
I think you just got to blow it off. Do what you do. I mean,
he's right.
I mean, there's no sense trying to fight it, because you can't win if you try to fight it. You know, I realize the only thing that I could do is make as many good pitches as I can. That's the only thing I could try to do. And that's the only thing I worry about. I mean, I just worry about really 2 things: what pitch should I throw, and how to throw it.
From the offensive end, I think consistency is the name of the game. And if you know, take a consistent approach and consistent swing, you're going to have your share of success. And so at the end of the year, you know, sometimes it's going to be 380, sometimes it's going to be 320. But if you do it often enough and consistently enough, it's going to add up at the end.
Well, Gwynn may be hitting .431 on his career against Maddux, but Gwynn has never taken Maddux deep. And since Greg Maddux joined Atlanta, Gwynn, the 6-time batting champion, is only 3 for 14 against Greg, but he's also yet to strike out ever against the game's best pitcher.